if you're worried about pec, if let's say internal rotation increases their pain, you do these two tests, and then the lift and push forward test. Nope, that's not really bothering me. Well, then you need to be thinking about pec. So then you're going to put them in this particular position like this and try to horizontally A-B duct them.
A-B.
And obviously that's pec, if that increases their pain. If you were thinking anterior deltoid, you would just resist flexion. Okay? So if the only thing that hurts is internal rotation, it's subscapularis. If one of these two are involved, then it's teres major or lat, and I told you how to differentiate. If those aren't involved, then you test for pec. And you can test for anterior deltoid if you run out of, if you decide you want to. Okay? So that's how I start my resisted test, is I always do external rotation, then I resist internal rotation. If that does not reproduce their pain at all, nope, no pain on this, no pain on this. Then I'm like, okay, well then let's resist flexion. Hold, don't let me pull your elbow forward. Does that hurt you? What about extension? Don't let me push forward this way. What about abduction? Don't let me push down. What about adduction? Don't let me pull up. So I'd have to go and test all the other ranges that I haven't tested because all I got was negative on internal and external rotation. Then the last part of your resisted test for the shoulder is the biceps and the triceps. Now those muscles you can put on stretch and test. So for the biceps muscle, and this particular test, I know there's all these tests out there called the speed, there's like the speeds test, the biceps load test, and I can't think of some of the others right now. Those tests are really designed to test the, I think, this peel back mechanism of the biceps tendon on the superior labrum, so that if you get pain on those tests, it's more indicative of a labral tear maybe than actually biceps tendinitis. Okay? This test that I'm going to show you is the test I've always used. From the first time I learned the principle of put it on stretch and resist it, I've used it ever since. And I've never missed a bicipital tendinitis using this test. So essentially, what are you going to do? Well, what does the biceps do? It flexes the elbow, so I'm going to extend the elbow. It supinates, so I'm going to pronate. And it flexes the shoulder, so I'm going to extend the shoulder. And then I can resist. Simultaneously, I can say, don't let me pull your shoulder backwards anymore. Now, don't let me straighten your elbow out anymore. So I'll load both ends of it in a stretch position, resisting its elbow flexion, shoulder extension, and you could add in, don't let me turn your hand over as well, if they can do all three movements. So I've always used that test to test the biceps for tendon pain, at least in the groove, okay? Some of those other tests I think are more for where it attaches onto the labrum. But I would imagine that if you had that problem and it was painful, this test would also be painful because you're putting the whole bloody thing on stretch when you do this. So, but nobody's ever looked at that. That'd be a neat study to do. Just does that test predict labral tears? If it reproduces pain right up here and not down there, does it predict labral tears? Okay? And then the triceps, you can just get into this position. Don't let me push your hand any further to your shoulder, good. If you really want to be pure, you could put then the shoulder up into flexion. Okay, don't let me push your hand down, and now don't let me push your elbow backwards, so I'm resisting shoulder extension and elbow extension simultaneously. Or triceps here. Okay? So